UB.net presents Poker2Nite. Coming up, with the World Series of Poker just weeks away, the World Series of Poker announces that Phil Ivey leads its Tournament of Champions voting. Is he now the most marketable man in poker? The PokerStars.net big game filmed last week in Las Vegas, and we spoke with Jason Mercier for his take on this potentially revolutionary poker show. 2007 Playmate of the Year and Team Victory Poker.net member Sara Underwood does some Bikram yoga with Joe Sebok, and then joins us in studio and goes on the clock. And Dana Workman tells you the best ways to track the World Series of Poker on P2N Online. All coming up on Poker2Nite. Thank you for joining us on Poker2Nite. I'm Scott Huff alongside Joe Sebok. Coming up a bit later on in the show, we've got Playboy Playmate Sara Jean Underwood in studio. If that's not enough of a reason to stick around, let's go to Dana Workman to find out what's coming up on P2N Online. What's up, Dana?
Always plan B, Scott. Why do I always got to be plan B? This week's P2N Online is a special WSOP edition previewing the best ways to follow the world's biggest poker tournament. We cover that, plus get your mailbag questions later in the show. Now, Huff, I understand that you had a very hangover-esque bachelor weekend in Vegas.
Yes, we did. Not that I really wanted you to bring it up, but thank you. We had a private poker tournament at the Aria, so we got a little poker in. I, of course, was busted, I think, third. So
yeah,
that was great.
It was a bit of a rough weekend, as you can tell, but we stay on style.
You did, absolutely. Thank you for that, and that's enough about the bachelor party. Let's get on with our weekly headlines. The World Series of Poker held their annual media conference call last week. During the call, they announced two new sponsors, popular energy drink Red Bull and two-tone silk shirt manufacturer Nat Nash. Also, Season 2 Poker2Nite guest and Harrah's VP Ty Stewart announced that after 300,000 submissions, Phil Ivey leads the Tournament of Champions fan voting. Now, Sebok, not that it should be a surprise at all, but there are some people out there who would still consider maybe Phil Hellmuth or Daniel Negreanu, considering how media savvy they are, to be the most popular players in the game. So are you surprised that Phil Ivey leads the voting here?
I don't think so, Huff. It's poker, okay? So winning trumps everything. It's great to be media savvy. It's great to connect with the public. But Phil Ivey has really distanced himself with his main event final table this last year. Second place has become distant, and it's nice to, again, make people laugh, and it's nice to joke around, but at the end of the day, wherever the money goes is where the popularity is going to go, and Phil Ivey has that locked up.
So do you think he's actually trumped them at this point in popularity? Do you think he's more popular than Hellmuth, and he's more popular than Daniel Negreanu as a player, as a personality?
I don't think it's close. I don't think it's close. I mean, granted, we don't have him running around and clowning around and doing all that stuff like those guys, but he wins. He wins and he dominates, and that's the bottom line. People coming up in the game see him and they want to be him. The other guys make you laugh, but you don't want to be those guys.
All right, in other news, the World Series of Poker and World Poker Tour have announced more global circuit events. First, the World Series of Poker announced they will expand their brand by making a two-event stop in Africa. The World Poker Tour has announced a London stop that will take place on August 29th. Now, Siebes, global expansion of poker has been going on for a while now. There are a ton of tours out there. But is there a point maybe where being so aggressively sort of expansionist with poker could be bad for the game?
Well, I'm just waiting for the Iceland Poker Tour to come. You know, I think it's too much. I mean, it's great across the world to grow the game. I don't think anybody's going to argue that. But how many tours do we need? You know, the bottom line is with football or basketball or any of these other sports, there's a league. So you can go, you can see how people are doing, how they rank against each other. But it's getting to the point where there are so many tours that you really just don't pay attention. I think most people at this point sort of focus on the WSOP. That's the one thing that we all know. That's sort of the granddaddy of them all. So for years now, I've been wanting there to be an official poker league so that way we can all follow along and it can be more like a real sport. So hopefully that'll happen. I think it's getting a little bit crazy at the top at this point.
Well, I want to be the world champion of the New Zealand, Auckland Poker Tour, or whatever they have over there at Poker Stars. Moving on, in player sponsorship news, two big announcements this week, as Full Tilt Poker.net announced the signing of Annette Oberstad, and Bodog.net parted ways with David Williams just days after he won the WPT Championship. Annette, of course, won the first World Series of Poker Europe main event and had been affiliated with Betfair before making the switch to Tilt. Williams has been a Team Bodog member since his 2004 World Series of Poker main event run and was really the face of the company. Now, Sebok, what do you make of these two latest sponsorship moves?
Well, first off, bad beat Bodog. Obviously, this was a business decision that was made prior to David Williams taking down the WPT Championship, but it seems like bad business to me. I probably would have gone ahead and had some discussions and changed my mind. There's also been some talk that Bodog is going in a completely different direction, bringing on Amanda Musamichi to join Evelyn Ng and maybe go sort of towards a women's team. So we'll see what happens with that. Now with Annette, this makes perfect sense to me. She wants to run with the big dogs. Poker2Nite is one of those big dogs. No offense to Betfair.net, but FTP, you know, is blowing up. She wants to be involved in that group. So to me, that makes a lot of sense, and I think that she's going to be happy there.
Where do you think David Williams is going to end up now, especially with these new victories under his belt?
Right, it's a great question. You know, I think especially with the last victory, D-Dub is going to be able to write his own ticket. We'll see at the WSOP if he makes a sick run or takes down another bracelet. I mean, really, he's kind of going to have his pick of the litter at that point.
All right, well, finally, let's take a look at the major online winners this week. Uber Online pro Sean Deeb pulled a Brett Favre, announcing his retirement late last year, then coming back quickly to scoop a PokerStars scoop event. Deeb claimed the pot limit Omaha 6 max with rebuys, banking over $65,000. Noah exclusive Boken finished third for over $35,000. There was a two-way chop and full tilt $750K guarantee. And continuing on with the Year of the Woman, if you believe that this person is in fact a woman, the event was won by Kate Sexy for $107,500. Great handle here. OJ Limpson finished third for $52,500. Red Pro Amanda Baker finished 11th for $7,200. And the UB 200K guarantee, Sodira 11 bested a field of 867 to take a first place prize of $45,700. When we come back, we break down some numbers. How many people can you expect at the World Series of Poker main event this year as part of our continuing World Series of Poker preview? And Dana Workman tackles how you can best track the World Series of Poker in P2N Online. Stay tuned. Poker2Nite is brought to you by UB.net. Raise, stack, own. Welcome back to Poker2Nite. Scott Huff alongside Joe Sebok. Dana Workman and P2N Online are just moments away. But first, Joe, let's talk a little bit more about the 2010 World Series of Poker. Last week, we talked value tournaments where people could get the most bang for their buck at the WSOP. The World Series of Poker media conference call was this week. They announced that tournament pre-registration numbers are up this year compared to last year. Do you think we're going to see 2006 level numbers, though, at this year's World Series of Poker?
Well, I don't want to get carried away. I don't think that's going to happen, but the numbers are going to go up. I can't say it enough. People love poker. I don't want to hear any more about the poker recession, how people aren't going to come out. People are going to come out for the World Series of Poker. Okay, we covered it last week with the 1K documents, the stimulus package, where everybody's going to come and they want to play these events. That's going to continue to happen. I don't think that there's any doubt about that. So the numbers are going to keep going up. I don't know that they're going to go up to 2006 with the Jamie Gold level, but they're going to be going up.
Well, I mean, you bring up Jamie Gold. What about the main event? It's everyone's favorite over-under to set every single year. What are the numbers going to be? Give us a hard and fast number for this year's main event.
The main event last year was going to go up over the main event the year before. Okay, people don't forget about this. The fact that the 1D lockout happened, all of those players were turned away, really, really hurt those numbers, okay? So we're still in a pattern of going up. That's going to continue to happen. I'm going to set it at not quite 7,000. I'm going to say 6,932 players. You can take that to the bank in any bet that you have. I do expect it to go up, and I do expect it to keep getting bigger.
6,932, and they can take it to the bank.
That's what I'm throwing out there.
That's amazing. If it gets that big of a number, though, we're looking at maybe a $10 million first prize.
That's always the key. That $10 million is really what's going to push people to get really, really excited. We've always wanted that. We used to have it. I don't know if we're going to quite get there. I hope that we do. It's going to be close, I think. It's going to be close.
All right, we'll continue with our World Series of Poker preview. Dana Workman dishes on the best ways that you can follow the 2010 World Series of Poker on P2N Online. P2N Online is brought to you by Poker Pro Magazine, your best bet. Dana?
Thanks, Huff. That's right. P2N Online this week will detail some of the best ways that you can track and things to look for when following the 2010 WSOP. First and most importantly, where can you sweat your favorite players who registered in the events? You know, a place to go to follow the action without being screamed at.
Oh, it's the king! It's the king! We're heads up!
Oh, the Maven. You have three main options. One, there is the WSOP.com website, which will track all of the major players and post full chip counts for each event. For more coverage, you can hit PokerNews.com, where you'll find video interviews and a rolling scroll of player tweets. If you're looking for a little more personality, though, PokerListings.com always does a great job. If you're looking for even more color, these are our top 5 sites you should check out daily. First is Dr. Polly's taupoker.blogspot.com. Polly has been covering the WSOP longer than just about any blogger out there, and he isn't afraid to tell about the very good and very, very bad things that go on at the WSOP each year. Plus, he's got his famous last 5 pros he's pissed next to posts that are a staple in the industry. Fortunately, he's never provided any twit pics to accompany those posts. For more of an industry insider's take, there's Poker2Nite.com. They've always got a scoop you won't find anywhere else, and regular podcasts giving you a behind-the-scenes look at WSOP action. For videos you won't see anywhere else, go to rawvegas.tv. Over the past 3 years, they've brought you clips like the scooter race between Doyle Brunson and Amarillo Slim. For a more pro perspective on the WSOP, PokerRoad.com is the way to go. From popular podcasts like Poker Road Radio and The Poker Beat to regularly updated pro blogs to, of course, Jeff Madsen's raps.
Hey, yo, man, oh my God, I'm rapping on my phone like I'm Prolad. We're not gonna practice avoidance.
Oh no, not that again, please, no more. Regardless, Poker Road is a source for tons of content that also doesn't involve crappy white boy rapping. Finally, for an edgy and gossipy look at the WSOP, go to wickedchopspoker.com. Their Girls on the Rail feature is among the most popular of the series. All right, now let's get to our viewer mailbag. This question comes via Twitter from @FrankHarlan, and it feels like a perfect one for Sebok. If you're on the bubble and you get pocket aces and you're short stacked, do you shove or fold? Joe?
Well, Frank, it really depends on whether or not you want to be a real poker player or if you want to be a toddler in diapers. Okay, when you pick up 2 aces on the money bubble in a major tournament and you're short stacked, this is your best chance to get it all in and double up, get back into the event, and go for the win. You don't just want to eke into the cash, okay? That's not something that you want to do. The only caveat there is if you're playing in a satellite tournament and maybe first through 9, they're giving away seats, or first through 15th. Now, in that spot, you may want to let the aces go. You may want to just go ahead and win the seat. But if you do it in a major tournament, I'm going to come to your house, I'm going to take the online poker sites off your computer and take your cards away because you shouldn't even be playing poker.
That's it for P2N Online. To submit questions to future mailbags, visit us at Poker2Nite.com, our Facebook fan page, or Twitter.com/Poker2Nite.
Thanks, Dana. When we come back, 2007 Playmate of the Year, Sara Underwood does some Bikram yoga with Joe Sebok, and then joins us in studio and goes on the clock.
Poker's biggest tournament, the World Series main event, is just around the corner, and UB.net wants to send 5 of our Poker2Nite viewers there to compete for a shot at poker immortality. To get in on the action, simply go to UB.net and sign up for a new account with the Poker2Nite referral code. You'll then receive an entry to one of our satellite tournaments for a chance to play in the main event final qualifier on June 6th. Finish in the top 5 of the final qualifier, and you'll be on your way to Vegas with UB.net picking up the tab. While there, you'll get access to all the UB.net parties and a personal training session with either Phil Hellmuth or Annie Duke. So head over to Poker2Nite.com now for all the details, and hopefully I'll be seeing you at the main event this summer.
Welcome back. We're now joined in studio by 2007 Playboy Playmate of the Year, Sara Underwood. Sara, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Now, before we get into the interview, you and Sebok went and did a little Bikram yoga during the week. It was hot. It was sweaty.
It was very hot.
And personally, there's only one of you I'd ever like to see doing it again. Let's take a look.
Grab the outsides of your feet, stepping on all 5 fingers of each hand. Change. Now reverse, flat back, suck your stomach in, lead with your chest, arms up. Step back to the left, arms over your head, and arms down by your side.
Well, that looked sufficiently horrible.
Wow.
And I'm so glad we put you up to it again.
Why does it always have to be me? Every single week it always has to be me.
It's what we do. How did he keep up, do you think, overall?
Did well. And he's closer to the ground, so it was easier to, like, balance.
Wow.
And
we heard that you were nice. That's why we said, hey, let's have Sara Underwood on.
I don't know what my problem is today. I got up early, I flew all day. I think I'm just tired and just feel
Well, lucky for you, I'm tough, so I can take these kind of things. It's all right.
Wait, he's closer to the ground than you?
Actually, that might be true. She's trying to make a short man joke. She's just not executing it perfectly well.
Yeah, that didn't go very well because I'm like 5'2", so I'm sort of calling myself out as well. So.
Was that one of your turnoffs?